Thanks for tuning in to the Spec Designs podcast. Today we will be discussing how small to mid-sized businesses, or SMBs, can successfully compete with massive, big-name brands without needing the colossal marketing budgets of their corporate counterparts.
Yeah, it's a really vital topic for any smaller business looking to make its mark today. The main idea from the blog we're looking at is pretty clear. You don't necessarily win by outspending everyone.
Right.
Large brands, sure, they lean heavily on huge ad spends, but SMBs, they often have a different edge, something potentially more powerful, winning through clarity, speed, and trust.
Clarity, speed, and trust. That's the core strategy then. So our goal today is really to unpack these 12 best practices highlighted in the blog. The idea is they can help turn a smaller, focused company into a real growth engine.
Exactly. We want to show you how to make your brand the one people think of first, the obvious choice in your market.
Okay, so where do we start? The foundation seems key.
Absolutely. You've got to start with the internal stuff, the foundation. Because, you can't build something lasting on a shaky or unclear mission. So that takes us straight to practice number 1. Define your purpose and use it every day.
The blog puts it very bluntly, doesn't it? A logo is not your brand. Okay, so if the logo is just the symbol, what exactly is this driving purpose? And maybe more importantly, how does a small team actually use it day to day?
Well, the purpose is that underlying belief system. It's the mission that guides, everything. It has to be deeper than just, making money.
Okay.
For a service business, for example, maybe it's something like restoring peace of mind instantly for an emergency service, or perhaps building generational wealth through quality construction if you're a builder. It's the why.
So how does that why translate into actual business decisions?
It becomes a filter, really. That purpose should influence your service offerings, who you hired, they align with these core values, and definitely your customer service standards. And it's that consistency driven by the purpose that builds trust. We see this in research, like the Edelman Trust Barometer Trust is becoming the crucial factor for consumers. When customers connect with your values, they move beyond just being first-time buyers. They become loyal clients, even advocates who refer you.
That makes sense. And that clarity, it forces you into the next practice naturally, doesn't it? Which is own a niche you can actually win.
Yes.
I know a lot of SMB owners, especially when they're starting out, they worry. They think niching down means saying no to potential business, leaving money on the table. What's the counter to that fear?
It's a common worry, for sure. But honestly, trying to be everything to everyone, that's probably the quickest way to burn through your budget and just blend into the background.
You become invisible.
Exactly. You become a generalist, a commodity, and then you're always stuck competing on price, which is a tough game for SMBs to win against giants.
So the alternative is becoming that obvious choice we talked about.
Precisely. The strategy is to pick a specific, tight niche. Find a group with a high-value problem that you are uniquely positioned to solve better than anyone else.
Okay.
The blog gives some really good, concrete examples for service businesses. Like, don't just be a general electrician. Maybe you specialize in new-build electrical installations.
Right.
Or instead of a general contractor doing everything, you focus exclusively on high-end bathroom remodels.
Or like the example of the investor-focused real estate team.
Yes, or the emergency HVAC service. That kind of sharp focus dramatically boosts your marketing efficiency. Why? Because you know exactly who your ideal client is, where to find them, and what message resonates with them.
So you stop being just another plumber, and you become the expert for, say, restoration after basement flooding. And your perceived value goes way up just because of that specialized focus.
Spot on. Your value perception increases significantly. So once you've figured out who you are and who you serve, the next big piece is how you communicate. And that brings us to another key idea: authenticity over polish.
This feels like a natural advantage for smaller businesses. They can be more genuine. But how do you make sure that being authentic doesn't just come across as, unprofessional or amateur, especially when you're up against slick corporate marketing?
That's a fair point. The key isn't about having Hollywood production values. It's about honesty and transparency. Genuine authenticity actually builds credibility and thought leadership much faster than, generic corporate fluff.
So what should you share?
Share the founder's story, the real why behind starting the business. Be open about lessons learned along the way, not just the successes, but also the mistakes, and crucially, how you address them.
The blog mentions the brand voice should be plain, honest, and helpful.
Exactly right. At the end of the day, people connect with people. So show some behind-the-scenes stuff, celebrate customer wins publicly, and when you tell those stories, which ties into practice 8, really zero in on showing the outcome, not just listing features.
Ah, the transformation aspect.
Yeah.
So if I sell, say, a super efficient new furnace, I shouldn't just list the specs.
No, skip the technical jargon mostly. Focus on the problem you solve for the customer. Stories are memorable, they stick. And people share stories much more readily than spec sheets.
Right.
Use those powerful before and after photos. Get short video testimonials. Weave client quotes into compelling case studies.
Okay, let's use those specific examples from the blog again. Instead of saying, we installed a new heater, frame it like, we took them from no heat to cozy in 24 hours. That's impactful.
Huge difference. Or for a realtor, we got their house closed in 15 days, well over the asking price. That's tangible value the customer immediately understands and relates to.
It connects emotionally, I get it. That's what makes someone tell their neighbor about you.
Precisely. It creates that emotional anchor. Okay, so we've got identity, audience, and communication style. The next critical area, since SMBs can't just win on sheer volume, is winning on the relationship side, enhancing the client journey. Which leads us to practice 4, personalize every single touch point.
This feels like another area where smaller teams naturally excel. They can make customers feel known and valued.
Definitely.
But for a busy owner already juggling a million things, how do you personalize effectively without it just becoming more busy work? Where's the best leverage?
It absolutely has to be strategic, you're right. Otherwise, it's unsustainable. The highest leverage points often involve using systems that feel personal, even if they have some automation.
Like what?
Like segmenting your email lists properly. Don't send the same blast to everyone. Segment based on where they are in their journey with you, maybe by location or the service they were interested in, or if they're a new lead versus a long-term client.
Okay.
A tailored welcome email sequence for a new customer is great personalization, far better than a generic sales pitch. And, critically important for local businesses, optimize your Google business profile relentlessly. That local search visibility is powerful personalization at the point of need. It makes you the visible local expert.
That kind of attention to detail feeds right into practice 5, doesn't it? Building a community, not just collecting a following. What's the difference, really?
Big difference. A following might give you likes or views. A community, that gives you loyalty, engagement, and eventually advocacy.
So how do you actually build that community?
You need to actively nurture it. Turn those happy clients into advocates who are willing to spread the word for you, essentially for free.
Yeah.
Well, you could start a focused Facebook group around a topic your clients care about. Maybe run a valuable email newsletter that's not just sales. Host local workshops, perhaps, or even sponsor local community events to get face time. These actions foster real engagement and keep you top of mind. And the blog had a simple but golden tip for social media, too.
Oh, yeah. Reply fast and often to comments.
Exactly. It sounds basic, but it shows you're present and listening. It makes people feel heard, which is huge for community building.
And listening properly also means handling the negatives, right? Which is practice 7. Treat feedback like free R&D. Research and development.
This is crucial.
Okay, but let's be honest. When you're running a busy service business, getting a complaint can feel like a major headache. It's tempting to just want to make it go away quickly. How do you shift that mindset to genuinely seeing complaints as valuable R&D?
You have to build a process around it, not just react emotionally. View complaints as data points indicating where your process might be breaking down.
So track them.
Yes. Track the types of complaints. Are multiple customers confused about your billing? Do people frequently mention technicians arriving late? These aren't just individual annoyances, they're signals. They pinpoint exactly where you need to improve the customer experience or maybe update your internal training or procedures.
Turning a negative pattern into a measurable improvement opportunity.
Precisely. And the blog stresses this. The response itself is incredibly important. Even if you can't fix the core issue instantly, a fast, human, empathetic response can make a world of difference. That speed and empathy often turn a potentially negative situation into a positive one. You might even get a glowing review about how well you handled the problem, building even more trust.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's shift gears a bit into the visual and operational side. Practice 6 is about keeping visuals consistent everywhere. Why is that so important for a smaller company? Wouldn't they want to look different sometimes to stand out?
Consistency is what builds recognition and recall. Think about it. Large brands spend fortunes drilling their colors, logos, and fonts into our brains.
True.
SMBs can achieve a similar effect, just much more affordably, by simply being disciplined. Your logo, your color palette, your fonts, even your photo style, it needs to look the same on your website, on your service vehicles, on employee uniforms, on your quotes, and all over your social media profiles.
It signals professionalism immediately, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And creating a simple brand guide, maybe just a page or two, that outlines these rules saves so much time and headache down the line. Everyone on the team knows the standard. It gives you that polished look of a bigger company without the internal red tape.
Speaking of avoiding red tape, that leads perfectly into practice 10. Stay agile and move first. This is supposedly the SMB's superpower, right? The ability to pivot way faster than big corporations. How can you actually leverage that agility in practical ways?
Agility means being willing to experiment and accepting that not everything will be a home run. But the key is you can try things quickly and cheaply. If you see an opportunity, maybe a competitor makes a mistake, or you notice a new customer need emerging, you should be able to decide and launch a small test, a pilot program, in days, not drag it through committees for months.
Can you give an example of a pilot like that?
Sure. Let's say you're a plumbing company considering a new preventative maintenance plan. Instead of a massive company-wide rollout, maybe you pilot in just one specific neighborhood or zip code first.
Low risk.
Very low risk. Test the pricing model, test how you deliver the service, get direct feedback from those first few customers, and then decide within, say, 30 or 60 days, do we kill this idea, tweak it, or scale it up? You can also jump on new advertising formats or promising social media platforms way before the big players even notice them. That constant cycle of testing, learning, and adapting is vital for effective lead nurturing too.
Because you're engaging prospects based on what's actually working right now, not just old assumptions.
Exactly. You're learning in real time. And then still under this umbrella of presentation and operations, there's practice 12, make your look memorable.
Okay, so if consistency builds recall, is memorability about cutting through the clutter? Making sure people actually notice you.
That's a good way to put it. It's about being distinctive. You need design that is simple, clean, but also unique enough to stand out.
What are the non-negotiable investments here for an SMB?
There are probably 3 core things. First, a strong, professionally designed logo that's unique to you. Second, a clear visual system, those consistent colors and fonts we talked about. And third, a website that is fast, easy to navigate, and looks great on mobile phones. You simply can't afford to look generic.
The blog really warned against using those common website templates or overused stock photos.
Yeah, that's critical advice. Generic is like poison for a small business trying to stand out. If your office photo looks exactly like the one on 10 competitor sites, you've lost before you even started.
Right.
You need a defined color scheme and a photography style that feels authentic to your brand, recognizable instantly. Basically, if a design choice doesn't make things clearer or more memorable, you should probably cut it. Keep it lean and distinctive.
Makes sense. Okay, moving into our final section, focusing on specific growth engines. Let's talk about practice 11. Invest in content that earns trust. Content marketing can feel like a really big mountain to climb for a small team. What's the strategic payoff that makes it worthwhile?
Content marketing is absolutely foundational today. Think of it as building an asset that works for you 24/7 long after you've created it. Good educational content doesn't just attract potential customers who are actively looking for solutions.
It also helps with SEO, right, getting found on Google.
Exactly. It significantly improves your search engine optimization, which means more organic traffic to your website over time. Plus, it positions you as an authority, as a helpful expert, not just a salesperson.
So for a service-based SMB, what types of content really move the needle? What should they focus on creating?
The most effective content directly answers the specific questions your potential customers are already asking online. They're usually doing intent-driven searches that have a problem and need a solution now.
Okay, like what kind of questions?
Think about blog posts detailing specific processes, helpful how-to guides related to your service, maybe even transparent pricing guides if appropriate for your industry. Buyer checklists are great too, or comparisons between different service options. The goal is to target those local keywords, things like best emergency plumber near me, or cost of bathroom remodel in city. Your website should become a resource that answers those questions comprehensively, essentially generating qualified leads while you sleep.
That sounds powerful. And the final best practice, practice 9, seems like a smart way to amplify reach without just spending more ad dollars. Partnering with other SMBs.
Yes, collaboration often beats competition, especially at the local level. The idea is to identify other businesses that serve a similar type of ideal client, but offer complementary, non-competing services.
So it's more than just swapping brochures.
Oh, much more. It needs to be a strategic alliance built on shared audiences and mutual benefit. Think about building real goodwill.
Can you give us those specific partnership examples the blog mentioned again? They were quite good.
Sure, think about a realtor teaming up with a home staging company and maybe a mortgage broker. That's a natural fit. Or a roofing contractor partnering with a gutter installation company and maybe an exterior painter. Or a plumber working closely with a water damage restoration firm.
Okay, I see the synergy.
These partnerships can take many forms. You could co-host educational workshops for homeowners, create bundled service packages, cross-promote each other's content, maybe do guest appearances on each other's blogs or local podcasts, or even run joint contests or giveaways. It exposes both businesses to relevant, interested audiences.
So wrapping this all up, the overarching theme seems to be about really optimizing that entire client journey from the very first time someone hears about you all the way through to becoming a loyal customer. And the key levers are clarity, speed, and trust.
That's the essence of it. It's not about trying to be the biggest fish in the pond.
Right.
It's about being the best fish for your specific type of customer and being incredibly intentional about every interaction.
So the real competitive advantage isn't necessarily what you offer.
Not entirely. It's more about how quickly, how clearly, and how consistently you execute these practices to make choosing your brand the easiest, most logical decision for the customer. If you remove friction and build trust at every step, you're much more likely to win their business.
That's a fantastic final thought. Simplify the choice for the customer.
Make it easy for them to say yes.
Excellent. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Spec Designs podcast. If you found this discussion helpful, please remember to follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And of course, feel free to contact Spec Designs directly with any questions you might have.